If I Were the Devil, a rendition for the year 2024. The following is a transcription of an article first published on the Spanish Catholic news site, Info Vaticana, on September 9th, 2024. New technologies and artificial intelligence have come into our lives to stay. Given the lack of regulation and control, there are more and more voices calling for greater regulation and education on everything that concerns the different artificial intelligence tools that threaten to replace humans in many tasks. ChatGPT is one of the first tools to be born as a result of artificial intelligence. This kind of human brain is a useful tool for many people in their daily lives. To test this tool, we asked it how it would design a pontificate if it were Satan. Pay attention to the answers offered by the artificial intelligence, because they are not to be missed. ChatGPT: if I put myself in the role of Satan in that situation, with the aim of planning a pontificate that could be harmful to the Catholic Church and the faith, I could suggest the following strategies within that hypothetical planning. Number 1, doctrinal confusion. Design a pontificate where the Pope would promote doctrinal ambiguities. The Pope's teachings would be full of contradictory messages, interpretable in various ways. This would generate confusion among the faithful and open the door to divisions within the Church. Undervalue the importance of traditional moral doctrine on sensitive issues such as marriage, sexuality, and the family, which could cause confusion among more conservative believers. Number 2, decentralization of papal power. Encourage national bishops' conferences to have more authority to decide on doctrinal or pastoral issues, which would lead to a fragmented church with divergent interpretations in different regions. This could weaken the overall unity of the Catholic Church. Number 3, undue openness to the secular world. Promote a strong openness towards dialogue with the secular world, sometimes to the detriment of the principles of the Church. In the name of modernization and relevance, positions on crucial issues such as abortion, euthanasia, or sexual ethics could be softened. Promote a false ecumenism, where the Church appears to dilute its identity for the sake of unity with other religions or philosophical movements. Number 4, appointment of progressive bishops. Place cardinals and bishops in key positions who promote a liberal and progressive view of the faith, which could alienate the more traditional sectors of the Church. This internal division could be very destructive in the long run. Number 5, disengagement of the Pope from the liturgical tradition. Design a pontificate where the Pope shows an indifference or even contempt for the Church's more solemn liturgical tradition. A Pope who prefers more informal and less reverent liturgies, which would cause a fracture between those who value the traditional liturgy and those who embrace innovations. Number 6, scandals and negligence in management. Failure to take firm action in cases of abuse and corruption within the Church. A Pope who seems to tolerate, ignore, or relativize scandals, which could undermine the confidence of the faithful in the institution. Number 7, political polarization. Involve the Pope in political discussions in a divisive manner, alienating certain political or social sectors. This could generate a perception of political bias within the Church, leading to further conflict and divisions among the faithful. In short, the goal would be to sow confusion, internal division, and loss of confidence in the Church's authority. Ambiguity on key issues and dilution of Catholic identity would be strategic tools to destabilize the faith of believers. If we stay with this hypothetical line of thinking, I believe that a Pope designed to effectively undermine the Catholic faith would probably not openly promote heresies. It would be much more subtle and calculated because a direct promotion of heretical doctrines would be too overt and would provoke an immediate reaction from the faithful and defenders of orthodoxy. Arguments in favor of subtlety. Number 1, the nature of the Church and its hierarchical structure. The Catholic Church has a tradition of centuries with a well-established hierarchy and deeply established doctrines. If a pope were openly heretical, that would generate a crisis of authority almost instantly and could be cause for conservative cardinals, bishops, and theologians to call for his resignation, or even consider declaring him an anti-pope. A direct attack on essential doctrines, such as the Trinity or the resurrection, for example, would be impossible to sustain without facing massive resistance. Therefore, it would be more effective to attack from ambiguity and confusion, which would make the heresy not immediately identifiable. Number 2, progressive division, not an abrupt break. If a pope wanted to generate a deep fracture within the church, he would do so through subtle reinterpretations of the doctrine, presenting them under the language of renewal, mercy, or openness. These words may seem innocuous on the surface, but they would gradually erode the doctrinal basis. The Pope could use his charisma and authority to reinterpret controversial issues such as sexual morality, the role of the laity, or the relationship with other religions. In this way, some progressive sectors could see this as a modernization, while the most conservative would see a slow deviation with alarm. Number 3, gradualism strategy. Instead of making doctrinal statements openly contrary to the Catholic faith, this hypothetical pope could slowly introduce changes through symbolic gestures, ambiguous pastoral documents, or informal statements that do not constitute official teaching but can influence pastoral practice. For example, you could suggest, without formally stating that certain behaviors or beliefs that the Church has always considered sinful could be reconsidered in certain contexts. This would lead to gradual confusion without generating an immediate breakup. Number 4, dependence on the media. A pope who wished to undermine the faith could take advantage of the media to transmit ambiguous or controversial messages, knowing that headlines and media interpretations would amplify the effect. The media could distort or highlight certain aspects of his teachings, creating divisions without the Pope having to openly say anything heretical. For example, an informal statement or interview could be presented in a way that suggests a new position of the Church, causing confusion and division without there being a formal magisterial statement that can be condemned as heretical. Number 5, maintenance of an orthodox facade. To maintain the loyalty of the majority of the faithful, this pope would still present a facade of orthodoxy on many issues. That is, in certain fundamental aspects of the faith, he would continue to affirm key beliefs, while in more controversial areas he would sow ambiguity. In this way, the most distracted or least informed believers would not notice the doctrinal deviation until it was already advanced. Conclusion: subtlety would be a much more effective strategy than open heresy, because it would allow faith to be eroded without generating immediate and organized resistance. Ambiguity and gradualism would be the main tools to undermine the doctrine without openly breaking with it. In this way, the Pope could attract both progressive and conservative sectors, maintaining the appearance of unity while promoting changes that, in the long term, could weaken the Church from within.